Hey Clodhoppers, just wanted to let you guys know about some goals that we have set forth for 2018. We'll state the goals and then kind of what our expectations for each goal is.
And we're doing this as part of a challenge that was issued by a couple that is in the UK. So thank y'all for the idea. But we figure with starting the first day of the new year of 2018 that it was a great way to kick off the new year.
Yep.
And we will link their YouTube channel in the description below in case you're interested in seeing their goals for the next year, in addition to other YouTube subscribers that are posting their links to their videos for their goals for 2018 on the homestead.
Yes.
All right.
So let's begin with number 1.
So our first homesteading goal for 2018 is to perfect our garden and increase food production. That also includes fruit trees. We've tried planting fruit trees several times, but either dogs have run into them or a drought comes along and they just haven't done well here. Mm-hmm. I think Justin feels that part of the problem is we've been buying them at TSC whenever they don't have much of a root stock on them, so they struggle to establish themselves before inhospitable conditions hit.
We've been getting the ones that they're the short ones that have a very short root system, but when we've gotten ones that have a bigger root system and are a larger tree, even though they're more expensive, they've tended to root better, whereas those really short ones that have really short roots don't even look like they're doing much. So.
Yeah. And the reason we got some trees that were short, not very well established, was because we were purchasing non-GMO trees, and to do that on a budget, the smaller the tree, the cheaper it is to purchase. We've also been working on our garden. Since I moved here, I've been trying to build up garden areas. Last year, our main limiting factor was having a little one. In addition to the animals, and with it being just the two of us, it makes it difficult to get everything accomplished, which is one of the reasons we're anxiously awaiting Malachi getting old enough to help out with a few of the chores, so that we can have a little more time to work on establishing things like the garden area. Mm-hmm. But it's a project we keep on working on. Yeah. The reason we didn't get as much done as I would have liked the year before is I was pregnant. And it was kind of hard to sit and do garden work with a big belly.
Yes.
So.
And then the year before that, we were getting prepping for a wedding. So.
Yeah, and he didn't live out here at that point. Yeah. But when he'd come and visit, he helped mud in some seeds. One time he came out for a weekend. So. It's been a busy life.
Yes.
Okay. Ready for number 2?
Yes. Number 2 is raising enough chickens and rabbits for meat for the year. We would like to have 52 birds in the freezer and about 26 rabbits. Now, what we're planning on doing is to overshoot, because sometimes things happen and you end up with less than what you really want. Especially with baby chicks, sometimes something happens and either a predator gets them or they just don't make it for some reason. So we'll get like 60 birds prepped, and then hopefully by the time we go to butcher, we'll have 50 to 52. And then with the rabbits, getting them to breed to where we have about 25 to 30 rabbits available to butcher.
Yeah, and so that means we have our breeding stock and then the numbers that Justin is talking about in addition to our breeding stock.
And not just with the rabbits, that's also with the chickens, having enough for egg laying, so we get enough eggs that we want to get. So. Yeah.
We have to clear out freezer space to be able to have that much meat all at once. Now, we haven't fully decided if we're just going to do a one time, we're going to buy that many birds, and then we're going to do a big butchering day or weekend, or if we're going to split
it to where we do half or a third one time a year, and then a third or a half and a different time. So
that way we don't have to have as much.
Make it easier.
Yeah, and we don't have to have as much freezer space available all at once.
Yeah. So goal number 3
is to work on the infrastructure of some of our items here on the homestead. Not necessarily buildings, so non-taxable infrastructure. So mainly, we need to put down some gravel, some rock on our driveway. We've let it slide quite a bit. We don't quite have swimming pools in our driveway, but we do have some deep ruts. Thankfully, we've been able to find free rock that we pick up off like the side of the road when a truck accidentally dumps some. Not construction workers rock. This is literally rock that has fallen off of the back of somebody's truck, and so it's not already designated for something else.
Or also when we go and get free wood chips, we'll find rock sometimes in it. So that's another way we get free rock for the driveway.
Yes, it's a pain, and it may not seem worth all that effort, but it has kept us from having to get the rock right away. We've been able to postpone that by filling in some of the deeper ruts with that free rock that we've found. Yeah. But it's to the point we just need to have some rock brought in. Another piece of infrastructure that we're wanting to work on is to patch our fencing and put up our gates at the front of our driveway so that we can utilize more of our land. And that may not be just a 2018 goal. At least the front part we would like to get done in 2018, but we'll see what time allows. Because we pretty much have the materials. We've purchased those. We just have to find the... Yeah. And then the other piece of infrastructure that we would like to build is to do a kind of makeshift-ish greenhouse. We want to get some cattle panel, 16-foot cattle panel, and turn it into an arch and anchor it to the ground. Maybe put 2 or 3 of them side by side, and then in the summertime it'll be a trellis, but in the wintertime we'll cover it with a plastic sheeting, and it'll be a greenhouse to start some plants early. So that's been on our to-do list for a while, but we want to be determined to have that this coming year, or this year, since this will post on the 1st.
Yep. So number 4 goal is to increase composting methods. So as we showed in a video a while back, we moved our composting pit over a spot, so we're getting a patch area working on for the spring. But on top of that, also getting the worm bins that Cymbre started when she was living in her apartment, getting those going to where we can get it producing a lot more worm juice and dirt from that. Worm castings.
And that's earthworm bins.
Yes. Also doing some more worm towers in the garden themselves. Last year we had some issues with ants getting into them. So hopefully this year we'll put some nematodes on there to help keep the ant population down around those so that the worms can be more productive in it. And that way the worms are helping to feed the garden without us actually having to do extra work to get worms into the garden or dirt or nutrients into the garden with manual labor.
And those are beneficial nematodes.
Yes.
There are parasitic nematodes. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about beneficial nematodes. So come back and see us for the episode on that, because it's a really neat thing, and it's worked well for my parents in getting rid of grubs
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of grubs
Yes,
to get rid of.
grubs.
We want prettier sweet potatoes.
Yes. Now, one last thing that falls into this category is black soldier flies. Cymbre's been really wanting to get a black soldier fly bin going to kind of help for to compost stuff that we've used that we don't want to throw away in the trash.
The black soldier fly larva bin is more for protein for the chickens, an extra treat that way. But composting was the best place to fit that in on our top 5 list.
Yes. And the number 5 goal is
to generate reimbursement cash from the homestead. So what we mean by that is right now we spend quite a bit of money for all of the animals that we feed, and we don't have an income for that. And so far we've kind of chalked it up to it's a good hobby, and we know what self-sufficiency level we're trying to get to, and we feel that it's a way of life that we enjoy.
And it's a progression to get to this point of getting the farmstead or homestead to where it can be generating its own money to reimburse us for feed and taking care of the animals and stuff.
We've gotten to the point where we need to start figuring out a way to get the homestead to start paying for itself in some respects. We've got a few ideas in mind, and we don't really want to reveal that quite yet because we haven't fully decided if we're really going to go that route. But we want to do that in areas that aren't heavily regulated. So, like just selling meat or selling eggs or things of that nature. There are a lot of hoops to jump through if you want to do it legally. And we don't really want to have to deal with that right now. Maybe at some point we will, but not right now. So, for example, we were wanting to get a Nigerian dwarf doe shortly after we got Chief and Astro. And we had an arrangement made with the people we bought Chief and Astro from to have us come back to purchase a doe. But a month before we were scheduled to pick up the doe, we found out we were pregnant, and we decided that was just too much to deal with all at once, so we postponed it. It's been a while since then, and don't get me wrong, Chief and Astro definitely pull their weight around here. They help us clear out a lot of stuff on the homestead, but we would like to start making a little bit of money to be able to pay for some of the feed for them and for the other animals. So if we got a female goat, we could breed her and sell the doeling or buckling for a little bit of money. Now granted, that's not going to be like tons of money. So we're not looking to make big bucks. We just want to make a little bit of money to help offset the cost of some of the feed.
Mm-hmm. And the same can go for the rabbits. If the freezer's full, or we've met to around our goal of what we want in the freezer, and we don't want to keep certain ones for breeding, maybe selling some to people that want to get into rabbits or want rabbits as pets or anything like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the standard Rex. Their coat is so soft that they would make an excellent pet, because you just start petting and it's like, oh, you're so soft. Just like that too. Mm-hmm. You're so soft. Anyway.
And then another thing we're thinking of possibly getting into is maybe breeding dogs.
Yes, but not like anything big.
Yeah.
Just maybe have a litter or two a year. Yeah. And we've been talking about possibly Great Pyrenees or Anatolian.
Or a mix of the two.
Yeah. But we'll see. Alright, so there are 5 homesteading goals for 2018. But we have a bonus. This doesn't necessarily fit exactly in the homesteading goals, but it's still a goal for our family. And since homesteading is a lifestyle, not just a side venture, this kind of works its way into homesteading goals. And that is to continue paying off debt. Now, mortgage technically is kind of homesteading because we have to have the place to be able to homestead. it is our goal to get those monies that we owe paid, so we're not paying as much on interest, because we would prefer to be debt free. I mean, that would be the end goal, but we're doing our best to do what we can when we can. Here's a little bonus feature. I would really like to see this entranceway to our driveway be cleaned up this year. Maybe plant a few ornamental plants, put a few more cutesy things in this area. That way there's some curb appeal as people come to visit. We would also like to say a special thank you to whomever made these crosses and offered them for free at our local feed store. This is the start to our area of welcome as people come to Kooker Gehöft.
Hey Cloud Hoppers, thanks for watching the video. Push the thumbs up to like the video. Also hit that subscribe button, also the bell, so that you can get notifications when our videos come out.
Check us out on our social media pages too. We have Facebook and Pinterest, and soon we'll have Instagram. The links are below. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Good job.